Well, hello there guys. Good morning and welcome back to another video. Now, before I jump into today's topic, I just want to say thank you so much for the response on my last video, so on Tesla. It got like 2,000 views in 24 hours. I've never had that happen before, so thanks so much. You guys blew it out of the water and it really helps motivate me to keep making videos. So thanks so much for that. So something I wanted to talk to you guys for about for a long time is the erratic market we have nowadays and the chasing of hot stocks and trends, which have only been like accelerated because of COVID and all the ups and downs. So, I wanted to stop and reflect on some of the big trends and hot stocks we've seen. So I know this is old news for most of you and you're probably tired of hearing about these companies. But I think it's good to just stop and reflect on what's been happening, okay? Now, I could just say it's all FOMO, it's all FUD, let's pack our bags and go home. But I think I can do a little bit better than that. So, Tesla, Gamestop, Nikola, EV SPACs, QuantumSpace, cruise lines, silver, Bitcoin, Dogecoin. You're probably, if you watch any financial YouTubers, you're probably sick and tired of hearing about them, but I haven't been talking about them much, so it's my turn now. But I wanted to wait till it settled down. So what do these represent? So first of all, I'm only invested in Tesla and Bitcoin. I've never held any of the others, okay? I've not made money on any of these stocks, and I'm not bashing you if you've made money on these, okay? I'm just talking about my take on them. So I think too many retail investors are jumping on bandwagons that comes along without realizing the dangers or difficulties of trying to jump on them. So first of all, I think all news is old news. So by the time you hear about it on Wall Street Bets, YouTube or some Discord channel, it's already happened and thousands of people have read the news before you. And maybe even worse, you see it on mainstream media. At that point, it's way too late. But of course, we all think we're special and we all think that we're early to the game. And people try to arbitrage the news cycle. So if you have the events happening, so the source of the news and mainstream media over here, investors try to put themselves somewhere in the middle. So that they arbitrage it. So they just try and make money on the delay it takes from something happening to it breaks the news. But the problem is like the media just reports on whatever's happened. And it's not like CNBC or some financial YouTuber is going to put up like some really deep, well-researched paper on why they've found a golden nugget of a company that's doing crazy things and is about to take off. They just report on hot trades. So for the most part, I don't think you're going to find like the most valuable information on the news. It's pretty much just reporting. And besides, how are you going to keep up? Okay, so 3 years ago, it was all about crypto. Every YouTuber turned into a crypto YouTuber. 2 years ago, it was Tesla. Every YouTuber turned into a Tesla tuber. After that, there was Nikola, then it was QuantumSpace, Gamestop, Nokia, back to Bitcoin, and now it's Dogecoin and silver. And what's next? Like, try to sit down for a second and guess what's next. You have nothing to go on, and sometimes it's actually pretty random. It just pops up, people start talking about it, and all of a sudden it's a big thing. Now, of course, investors think they can get ahead of the herd without realizing they are the herd. And the people who make real big money are the people who was invested before they became trends and before everyone came in. And if making money was as easy as just reading some post on Reddit, jumping on the company and trying to cash out before everyone sells out, everyone would be doing it. So, well, hold on, everyone is doing it, which is why it doesn't work. So it's this like easy come, easy go sort of mentality, and people usually end up on the easy go side of the trade, I think. But if you actually believe in the companies, I think it's fine, right? If you believe in Tesla or Gamestop or Silver or Dogecoin, in the long run, that's fine. And if you just happen to come across them because everyone's talking about them, that's fine. And don't be afraid to invest just because everyone else is jumping on, okay? So it is a two-sided thing. And I held Tesla and Bitcoin through, when people weren't talking about them, I held them through their parade through the media, and I'll probably be holding them long after people have stopped talking about them. So just because something is hot, you shouldn't necessarily be afraid to jump in if you actually believe in the business. The second problem, I've got a few points here as always, is the timing issue. So when are you going to buy? When are you going to sell? When should you take profits? When should you take your loss and leave? These are some really tough questions you're going to have to face if you jump into these hot trends. I mean, have a look at the Gamestop stock charts. It's been up and down 10% plus every day for months. And so, of course, now where there's volatility, there's money to be made. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but I'm just saying many investors can't handle the heat, but they stay in the kitchen. And so I think the shame here is like all the retail investors who jumped into GameStop in 2021 as their first investment and got burned. Yeah, so I think the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF is probably looking really good for some people right now. So I think that's a shame. But if you think like most GameStop investors, I'm using this as an example, have made money, have a look at the chart. It looks pretty bad. If you look at any chart like Nokia over here, Royal Cruise Line, Nikola, QuantumSpace, not the best investments, at least not the last year. I'm not saying they can't go up. I'm just saying have a look, right? Nothing's happening. Then this big spike comes along and then it drops. And the chance of being in that one big spike, is tiny. And of course, everyone thinks they can hit it. So, I'm just going to buy, wait for a nice return and then sell out. But before you know it, you're on your way down together with the rest of the herd. So I think that's one of the dangers with this stock is just the timing aspect. And a real fun fact, it's not that fun, a cool fact about GameStop is that a few years ago, I think it was back in 1819, I watched a video on Michael Burry's portfolio, so the Big Short guy, the guy who bets against the housing market before it collapsed. And he had all these like underloved stocks that have just been crushed in his portfolio. I thought it was a terrible portfolio at the time. His biggest holding was GameStop. He thought it was overshorted and he thought the ship could turn around. So that's who made money on GameStop, right? So it was a buy and hold investment for him and it was a value play. So nothing like all of the people jumping in. He did his homework. He said, wow, there's a real good opportunity here that this can really kick off when people realize how undervalued this is. And then it did. Now, I don't know if he's cashed out, but that's an example of how doing your own thing and doing your research and just buying and holding can actually pay off. And someday, one of your stocks might be picked up by the big herd. Who knows, right? So behind every 15 minutes of fame stock, there are investors who believed in it before it became famous, and those are the people who've made the real money, I think. And if anything, I think this is the point where you're going to make money in GameStop. Investors have been shaken out. The company have raised money, I believed. So if you think the company can turn around, you can buy it now, hold it for a few years, and I think you can actually see some real returns. And besides, I just think buy and hold investors have such an easy time compared to like arbitrage and trend chasers. Just hold a few companies you believe in and you'll probably see strong gains. If one of them gets picked up by Reddit or people on YouTube, so be it, that's great, but probably not. But even if they don't, you can see strong gains. And there's no need to time trends or lose sleep over 20-30% moves overnight. And besides, things moves in waves, and staying ahead is really difficult. If you just stay on your little rock, the waves can come your way one day. And you know, stocks like Gamestop, Nokia, cruise lines, cinema stocks, you know, they were value plays, weren't they? But wasn't value dead? You know, same with silver. They were value investments, but apparently no one was doing that anymore. But all of a sudden, it's the new big thing. These stocks were not your hot tech stocks, cloud plays, FANG stocks. They were value plays, beaten down stocks that investors thought needed some love. Apparently that investing style was dead. So you never know, do you? Right? But anyways, I'm sure I could rant all day about this and repeat myself over and over again. But yeah, I don't think investors should chase trends or arbitrage the news cycle. I think real big long-term gains is made by investing before a company takes off, holding it through rough times, and then seeing the returns. And after all, it's much easier to roughly predict where a company is heading than guessing where the stock price is going next week. So I think that really sums up what I've been trying to say here. So I probably missed out on a lot of points I had planned out. After all, this was just a rant. You know, give me your thoughts on these companies and the erratic state of the stock market. I'm sure there's a lot of opinions out there. Thanks for watching. Hope I'll see you in my next video. And as always, take care, guys.